have to say I have some mixed emotions about today. On one hand, I'm very happy to see these amazing students reach their goal today. But on the other hand, I'm quite sad to see them go, as they've been truly a wonderful class. In just a few minutes, we will celebrate the accomplishments of our newest graduates and witness a very important moment as they cross this stage to officially receive their degree and walk off as STU alumni for life. Before we begin, however, I have a few housekeeping items to share with you. On my left here, your right, is the photography area. We ask that you wait until your graduate is in line to proceed to the front before you move up to take pictures. In order to avoid congestion, we also ask that you not have your graduate stop for multiple pictures. So think photo opportunity, not photo shoot, if you will. Truthfully, the best bet is to recreate the moment after the ceremony concludes. You're welcome to come down and do that. Washrooms are located along the walking track just up here, and emergency exits are marked with green signs on the upper concourse, and people on the lower level here should exit through the large double doors at the end of the arena. Our first aid paramedics can be found to your right over here, as well as if you need them for anything at all. You'll note that they are wearing brightly colored vests for visibility. Thanks. We ask that you remain in your seats during the procession, and for safety reasons, please keep the walkways clear at all times. So dear parents, supporters, family members, friends, please stand for the St. Thomas University graduating class of 2016.
Please stay standing for the vice-regal salute. Good afternoon and welcome to St. Thomas University's Spring Convocation. I am Dr. Kim Fenwick, Acting Vice President, Academic and Research, and the convener for today's convocation. Please remain standing as the University Chaplain, Father Donald Savoy, comes forward to give the invocation.
Let us pray. Creator God, source of eternal wisdom and knowledge, la source jaillissante de vie et d'esprit, te damos gracias, Señor Dios, por la grandeza de tus obras, especialmente estos graduades. Bénis les finissantes et les finissants, que leurs accomplissements rayonnent de fierté et d'espoir. Bless these graduates. Surround them with your care and love. May they shine in the world, witnesses to peace and justice. This we ask through Christ our Lord, through all eternity, forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you. I would now like to ask our elder in residence, Migmahan, to come forward and offer a traditional welcome.
Abchilida, emu dignigagiskuk, wulustugawik, wenahalu kiknigagiskuk, malchawech, kuchitniga duidan and lausithamu, unahadan and gelok, siawadan and gelok, kuchitmimajuahan. Thank you. I want to welcome on behalf of the Wulustugawik territory, the rising of the young people to be able to move forward in this world and be our future leaders.
Thank you, Migmahan, and please be seated. It's now my pleasure to introduce the Platform Party. I ask that each member of the Platform Party stand briefly when I say their name, and we will hold our applause until all members have been introduced. Lieutenant Governor, the Honorable Jocelyn Roy VNO. Premier of New Brunswick, the Honorable Brian Gallant. Deputy Premier, Minister of Public Safety and Solicitor General, the Honorable Stephen Horseman. The Most Reverend Robert Harris, Bishop of St. John and Chancellor of the University. Mr. Don Fitzgerald, Chair of the Board of Governors. President and Vice Chancellor Don Russell. Mr. John Bragg, Honorary Degree Recipient. Mr. Raymond Fraser, Honorary Degree Recipient. Migmahan, Elder in Residence. Reverend Donald Savoy, University Chaplain. Mayor of Oromocto, the Honorable Robert Powell. Mayor of New Maryland, the Honorable Judy Wilson-Shee. Chief of the Fredericton Police Force, Leanne Fitch, also serving as aide-de-camp for the Lieutenant Governor. Deputy Commander Lieutenant Colonel Byron Conway, 5th Canadian Division Support Base. Dr. David Burns, Vice President Research, University of New Brunswick. Ms. Lily Fraser, Vice President, Finance and Administration. Dr. Michael Boudreau, Dean of Humanities and Acting Dean of Social Sciences. Ms. Karen Preston, Registrar. Dr. Mike Dawson, Associate Vice President, Research. and Mr. Scott Duguay, Associate Vice President, Enrollment Management. Please join me in welcoming the platform party. It's now my pleasure to invite President Dawn Russell to come forward and address the convocation.
Your Honor, Lieutenant Governor Jocelyn Roy-Villano, Bishop Harris, Mr. Premier, Mr. Fitzgerald, platform guests, faculty and staff, members of the graduating class of 2016, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to welcome you all to our Spring 2016 Convocation. As president and as a professor who has taught for 25 years, one of my greatest pleasures is witnessing the success of our graduates and the conferral of degrees upon them at Convocation. And of course, as president, I love to boast, and indeed it's my job to boast, about the accomplishments of our faculty and about the many and varied successes of our students, from their impressive record of achievement in attracting scholarships to pursue further studies, to their lively theatrical and musical performances, from their championship win in men's volleyball and the success of our women's hockey team in beating McGill at the Nationals, to their leadership in student government and in service to the community. St. Thomas has long been known for producing informed, engaged citizens who actively involve themselves in their communities and in their province. And this reputation was substantiated by the last National Baccalaureate Survey on Graduate Outcomes, which revealed that St. Thomas graduates have significantly greater engagement than their peers nationally with civic issues, as well as with broader issues such as environmental sustainability and social diversity, and they're more likely than their peers nationally to support community causes and social justice and human rights concerns. Indeed, in a new issue of Maclean's magazine, Students Speak Out, the feedback from our students and graduates resulted in St. Thomas University being ranked #1 in Canada on the Writing Ability Indicator, #2 in Canada for helping them to develop strong critical thinking and problem-solving skills, and #5 for professors who know their name. These positive results are noteworthy for several reasons, and first among them are the fact that they are in areas that are at the heart of what we do and value as a liberal arts institution. And as well, they demonstrate not only the value of the dedication and the work of our faculty, but also the appreciation of our students and graduates for the contribution that faculty make to their development and success. This afternoon, we have close to 395 graduates. The vast majority are from a Bachelor of Liberal Arts program. There are a few from our Bachelor of Applied Arts and a few from our Bachelor of Social Work program. 52 Bachelor of Social Work graduates actually finished their program in December, and many of them are already working far and wide, but we're pleased to have a number of them with us today. Part of this celebration is our formal recognition of our honorary degree recipients. Award-winning writer, Mr. Raymond Fraser, also a STU alumnus, and entrepreneur, innovator, and philanthropist, Mr. John Bragg, two individuals who have achieved distinction in their respective careers. We hope that their examples will inspire you. For you, our graduates, today's convocation marks the completion of the journey you began when you first came to STU, and for us it's an opportunity to recognize you and to welcome you formally as members of the St. Thomas University alumni. Many years ago, I completed a similar journey here at STU, one on which I forged friendships, which I can now say have lasted a lifetime, and was given an educational foundation that prepared me well for the challenges and opportunities that later came my way. I hope that in the future you will feel the same fondness and gratitude as I feel for our small but mighty university, as the Premier described it last year at a speech in a speech at the Toronto Club. Today is the beginning of a new chapter in your lives, a time to celebrate your accomplishments, to consider your future, and also to reflect upon the assistance and the support that you've received. Most of us accomplish very little in life without the help or support of others. There are many family members and friends here today really to cheer our graduates on. And I know that you, our graduates, are grateful for the help, the encouragement, and maybe the financial support without which many would not have achieved what they have today. So I want to take a moment and ask you, our graduates, to stand and to convey your thanks to family and friends through a warm round of applause. A little more than a year and a half ago, those of you graduating today with your Bachelor of Social Work degree arrived on campus ready to embark on your studies. And during your intensive program, I know that you have formed close bonds with one another of a kind that often can only be formed in a small professional program. I have profound respect for the members of the social work profession and for our professors who prepare you for the difficult but rewarding work ahead of you. My 30 years of professional work as a lawyer, law professor, and law reformer brought me into close contact with many members of your profession and with some of the many vulnerable, disadvantaged, and marginalized members of our society who desperately need people like you to help them navigate the system and get the assistance and services they need to get them on their feet. As social workers, you will provide a vital service to the community, but the responsibilities that social work entails, as you know, can be tough. You'll be called upon to make difficult decisions. Very often, you'll have to make a choice between options, none of which appears to be ideal. And at times, you may become disheartened. But if that happens, remember that the power that you have to affect change happens one person at a time. But you know the fact that your work is difficult is only half the story. You will meet amazing people in the field, people who have been presented with extreme challenges, but who confront those challenges with courage and conviction. And you will get to experience the best part of yourselves. In your interactions with people, you may find that you have more generosity, more humility, more patience than you thought you did. And you will change lives. When those of you who are graduating today with your Bachelor of Arts came to us a few years ago, you came to us from different places with diverse backgrounds. Many of you were worried, if you think back to that first day, whether you'd fit in, whether a Bachelor of Liberal Arts was the right degree program for you. But here you are, you've carved your own path, and I think most of you have found some soulmates. As you graduate, we're in a period of financial constraint with fewer job opportunities in many spheres. And in the current context, the liberal arts are often attacked and their contribution to the workplace is sometimes undervalued. Some critics say that liberal arts graduates are not immediately employable, but the evidence shows otherwise. On average, humanities and social science graduates have a comparable employment rate to graduates with other degrees. In 2008, when the recession hit, those who were employed include 95% of engineering graduates, 94% of health workers, 91% of humanities and social science graduates. And a recent Maritime Provinces Higher Education Commission graduate outcome survey showed that 5 years after graduation, 95% of humanities and social science graduates are employed, 92% in jobs they're very satisfied with, and with an average median salary almost double what they were earning 2 years out. Many of our graduates do go on to pursue graduate or professional degrees and marry their liberal arts with an applied program. Last spring, at a meeting of the Canadian University Presidents in Halifax, the former advisor to the World Bank on post-secondary education, Jamil Samni, described the skills needed today for work globally: effective oral and written communication skills, the capacity for critical thinking and analytical reasoning, the ability to analyze and solve complex problems, to connect choices to ethical decisions, and increasingly global understanding and cultural sophistication. These are the strengths of a liberal arts education, the understanding, the commitments, and the skills that a Bachelor of Arts provides you with. The liberal arts help us to understand and interpret the human experience, from individuals to entire cultures, enable us to rediscover the past and to connect it to the present to enable a deeper understanding of contemporary society. They teach us to weigh evidence skeptically, to consider more than one side of every question, and encourage us to think creatively. They teach us to reason about being human and to ask important questions about our world. Liberal arts develop informed and engaged citizens. They prepare you to adjust to a rapidly changing world, and without the liberal arts, democracy will not flourish. So the value of a liberal arts education is worth both the private and the public investment, engaged citizens, workforce development, and a strong society. Don't underestimate the value of your education, and don't let others underestimate it either. In Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland, there's a passage where the Cheshire Cat, where Alice asks the Cheshire Cat, "Would you tell me which way to go from here?" And I expect that many of you are asking the same question today. The Cheshire Cat's simple answer was, "That depends a good deal on where you want to go." A simple answer full of wisdom. It's natural to worry about the future, but don't just worry. Don't wait for someone else to determine your path. Determine for yourself the direction in which you want to go. Like St. Thomas graduates who have gone before you, you will eventually find your way to an exciting and fulfilling career. For more than 100 years, St. Thomas has educated leaders in almost every field of endeavor, from the arts to government, premiers, government ministers, prime ministers, teachers, social workers, lawyers, judges, business leaders, native leaders, and leaders in a host of other fields. Today, you will leave us with a degree in hand. But I want to remind you that that alone is not enough, and it never has been. Over time, life teaches us that success, however you define it, requires personal qualities and talents and skills that we can neither teach nor test in university. Creativity, adaptability, people skills, street smarts, a sense of humor, a capacity for hard work, persistence and grit, and a personal sense of responsibility, integrity, and a certain zest for life, or chutzpah. And these are qualities and skills I know you all have. And if you doubt it, look deep. I know you'll find them within you. Combined with the knowledge and skills that you have acquired here at St. Thomas, these personal attributes will assist you in creating the future you want for yourself. As a group, those of you graduating today have contributed greatly to the richness and vibrancy, to the caring and compassion that characterize our small St. Thomas community, and to the intellectual and cultural diversity of our life of our community. And you've done that through your involvement in a wide array of activities. I want to thank you for that. Some of you have had to overcome tremendous obstacles to achieve what you have today, from personal illnesses and disabilities to family illnesses and loss of friends and loved ones, from financial hardships to family responsibilities, and making it to the final leg of your journey while coping with such challenges is a triumph to celebrate. I know that those of you graduating today are concerned with your own future, but I also know that many of you are concerned with your fellow human beings and with the problems that confront our province, our region, and our country. Don't be paralyzed or awed by the magnitude of the problems. Here at St. Thomas, we've taught you that these conditions won't improve on their own, that you have a responsibility and a role to play in changing them, and we know that you will. As you leave the shelter of our small St. Thomas community, be bold, be courageous, take risks, approach the future with confidence, because there's a lot of serendipity in life, and grab the opportunities that come your way, even if they aren't what you imagined. They may lead you to a future better than you ever dreamed of. And remember how blessed we are in this society and in the world to have a university education and give back to the community in which you live. I know you're going to make us proud. Keep in touch. Congratulations and best wishes to you all.
Thank you, President Russell. It's now my honor to invite Premier Brian Gallant to come forward and bring greetings to the graduating class on behalf of the province of New Brunswick.
It is clear to me that every single one of you is here for me to give a 90-minute political speech, so bear with me, okay? I'm going to be about 5 minutes, truth be told. It's great to be here, not only to be celebrating with all of you, but of course to also celebrate Mr. Fraser and Mr. Bragg, who I do think serve as inspirations for Atlantic Canadians and certainly for New Brunswickers. It's great to be celebrating with all of your friends and families that have joined us here today. It's great to be here as well. As was said by the President, St. Thomas University has contributed a lot to politics and to many spheres of our society, and I can tell you that the Deputy Premier of our government, Stephen Horseman, is a graduate from St. Thomas University. Our Principal Secretary in my office, Greg Byrne, is also a graduate of St. Thomas University. Kurt Goddard, who is my Executive Assistant, is also a graduate from St. Thomas University. So I don't know if you have any other honorary degrees to hand out. I'd love one if you have one. I've been thinking about what I wanted to tell you. Obviously, today's your day. I guess I have one message for you. Be proud of where you're from, be proud of who you are, and be proud of who you become. So first off, let's start off with where you're from. Well, one of the beautiful things about St. Thomas University is you all have different backgrounds, different stories, and you're all from different regions of the globe. But one thing you all have in common, I'm sure, is that you've had trials and tribulations to get to where you are today. You've had challenges, you've had opportunities, you've had to support one another, you've had the support from your families and friends, you've had to support them at times as well. So be very proud of where you're from and all the things that you had to do to be sitting where you're sitting here today. Be proud of who you are. Well, first off, you are people that have valued education. Again, you went through all those trials and tribulations to be able to accomplish what you've accomplished and that you're celebrating today. Education is key to the future of New Brunswick, to the future of our country. It is crucial for our economy, and it's crucial to ensure that we have a strong quality of life for all. So I thank you for valuing education and for doing everything that you had to do to accomplish what you have. Also, what do you all have in common? Well, you're St. Thomas University graduates. You're all from STU. And I know you're thinking to yourselves, I think the President's right, you obviously have many things that you're asking yourself today. Where's my career going to take me? Where am I going to live? Is it going to work out? Did I pick the right degree? And I think she very eloquently explained all the reasons why you should stay the course and you should be focused on celebrating today the accomplishment. I would argue the same thing, and I think some of you are probably thinking that you just want to get out of here and celebrate like it's April 6th. Is that right? So for those of you who don't know what April 6th means, you can ask all the people that laugh, because they clearly got it. Now, you're all graduates from St. Thomas University, and you should be very proud of that. You should be very proud for all the reasons that were already named, but I would add in a few others. I can tell you when I get to travel around North America trying to drum up business for New Brunswick, and I talk about St. Thomas University, and I tell them that you have a very innovative partnership with the Harvard Business School, people ask me, where's New Brunswick again? It's very impressive, and I can tell you that it is recognized across the globe as something that you should be very proud of. I know that there are 3 St. Thomas students who earned first place at Startup NB. They're on a team of 6. Things like that go a long way, not only because the 3 students had that experience of competing and learning, but also because it put St. Thomas University on the map. And you should all be very proud of what I'm sure many others have accomplished as well. And on top of that, when you look at the statistics, alumni are very proud of St. Thomas University, so you should be too. 92% of St. Thomas University alumni believe the liberal arts are a good foundation for a successful career and lifelong learning. 94% of the St. Thomas University alumni say their STU degree has a positive effect on their careers. 97% of the St. Thomas University alumni are happy with their decision to attend STU. And 107% of St. Thomas University alumni say that they're not too bad at math. So you have all the reasons in the world to be very proud of who you are and what you've accomplished. Finally, be proud of who you become. While on this, I can't offer you much advice other than to say that our world, our country, our region, our province, we face many challenges. They're more complex challenges than any other generation has ever seen. And it's the people sitting in those chairs that I'm looking at right now that we're going to need to help us to figure out how we overcome those challenges and how we see some of the opportunities that are before us. So you have a lot on your plate. There's no doubt about that. But you have, I believe, over the last few years, shown that you can accomplish anything that you put your mind to. I also say be proud of who you become, and I hope that you will, for those who would be studying abroad here at St. Thomas University, I hope that you'll become Canadians, that you'll want to stay. For those who are coming from different provinces, I hope you'll want to stay in New Brunswick. And we face challenges here in New Brunswick just like the rest of the country and around the world, but there's some good things happening here as well. And I can tell you today, right now, there are over 3,000 jobs waiting for New Brunswickers. And in the greater Fredericton region, there's over 450 jobs waiting for New Brunswickers as well. So I think you're about 400 that graduated, so you can all get a job right away, which is great. So we have challenges, but we have lots of opportunities. The one thing that is clear is we need all of you. We need your energy, your passion, and of course, all the experience that you've garnished over the last few years to help us innovate, to help us grow our economy, and to help ensure that we have a good quality of life for all New Brunswickers. So with that said, I congratulate you all. You should be very proud of everything that you've done and everything that you will do, and certainly never forget of where you came from. Merci beaucoup. Thank you.
Thank you, Premier Gallant. Well, the primary purpose of Convocation is to bestow degrees and diplomas on our graduating students. St. Thomas University also presents honorary degrees to individuals who have distinguished themselves in academic circles, in our cultural world, or in service to society. Today, we are privileged to bestow honorary degrees on entrepreneur and philanthropist John Bragg and award-winning writer Raymond Fraser. Both represent the ideals we strive to instill in our students through a liberal arts education. We believe that a democratic society needs citizens who can think for themselves and contribute to the betterment of our world. We value personal growth and the cultivation of individuality. We aim to develop well-rounded individuals with depths of human understanding. In short, we believe that a liberal education enhances prosperity, society, and humanity. These attributes are found in the lives and accomplishments of our two honorary degree recipients. Will Mr. John Bragg please stand? John Bragg is an innovative, forward-thinking entrepreneur and a community-minded philanthropist. He began his life's calling at the age of 14 when he started harvesting blueberries. From that point, he grew a cottage industry into a business that is manufacturing and marketing globally today. He learned to live his work day and night. He was the very definition of hands-on, walking his farmland even if it took him more than a full day to do so. His is a life lesson in vision and perseverance. A native of Collingwood, Nova Scotia, Mr. Bragg earned his Bachelor of Commerce and Bachelor of Education degrees from Mount Allison University. In 1968, he founded Oxford Frozen Foods, which is now the world's largest provider of wild blueberries, with 8 manufacturing facilities and farming operations in Atlantic Canada and the United States. He later established Bragg Communications, now called Eastlink, and is a chief executive officer of the Bragg Group of Companies, one of the most successful family enterprises in Canada. He has served on the board of numerous companies, including Maple Leaf Foods and TD Bank. Unfortunately, in our day, many successful business people behave in a manner considered arrogant and aggressive. Mr. Bragg is, by contrast, humble and helpful. He is a gracious ally to entrepreneurs in maritime Canada. He is also an intellectual, widely read in history, and a student of leadership in our society. He is a believer in public service, manifested in his passionate advocacy for all things maritimes, and his work on the reform-minded Ivany Commission in Nova Scotia. Mr. Bragg's contributions to the Canadian business sector have earned him membership in the Canadian Business Hall of Fame and the Nova Scotia Business Hall of Fame, as well as a National Entrepreneur of the Year award. In 1996, he was named to the Order of Canada, and he has received numerous honorary degrees. Through the John and Judy Bragg Family Foundation, John and his wife Judy have demonstrated a strong commitment to the Maritimes and post-secondary education. They have supported many community initiatives in education, health research, science, and nature conservation. Organizations that have benefited from their generosity include the Atlantic Veterinary College, the Nature Conservancy of Canada, the Nova Scotia Science Discovery Centre, as well as hospital foundations and universities in the Maritimes, including St. Thomas University and also Mount Allison University, where he served as Chancellor. His is a life of building, innovation, and generosity. Mr. Chancellor, I present to you Mr. John Bragg to have conferred upon him the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
By the authority vested in the office of the Chancellor by the Charter of St. Thomas University, I admit John Bragg to the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, with all the rights, privileges, and honors pertaining thereto.
Congratulations, Dr. Bragg. Will Raymond Fraser please stand? Raymond Fraser is one of Canada's most gifted writers and a founder of literary magazines which were vital in fostering Canada's literary culture. A native of Chatham, New Brunswick, Mr. Fraser graduated in 1964 from St. Thomas University, where he founded the university's first literary magazine, the Tom Tom, and played varsity football and hockey. Later, along with St. Thomas University philosophy professor Dr. Leo Ferrari and writer Alden Nowlin, he helped create the provocative and entertaining Canadian Flat Earth Society. Could maybe ask him about that later. He has been described as a natural storyteller. However, it takes hard work and dedication to produce a literary canon. He wrote his first story when he was 14 years of age, writing on a small card table in his bedroom, and has never stopped. Mr. Fraser is the author of 22 books, including 12 books of fiction, 7 poetry collections, 2 biographies, and a collection of memoirs. His biography of New Brunswick boxer Yvon Durell, The Fighting Fisherman, has been described as one of the best sports biographies ever written. No less an authority than Alden Nowlin said that Raymond Fraser was one of the most gifted writers I know, and among his gifts are all too rare a zest for life and a sense of humor. He belongs to the timeless tradition of storytellers. That was said early in his writing career, and if further evidence is needed, it's in his books. 5 of his books are listed in the authoritative study Atlantic Canada's 100 Greatest Books. In the mid-1960s, while in Montreal, he founded Intercourse, Contemporary Canadian Writing, a small literary magazine that published Leonard Cohen, Irving Layton, and Al Purdy. In the early 1970s, along with several authors, Mr. Fraser founded the Montreal Storyteller Fiction Performance Group, which performed readings in schools, bookshops, and coffee shops across the country and contributed greatly to the advancement of short story fiction. From his early years through to today, the acclaim and recognition for his work has been consistent. He was nominated for the Governor General's Award for Fiction in 1978 for his novel, The Bannon Bridge Musicians. In 2009, he received the inaugural Lieutenant Governor's Award for High Achievement in English Language Literary Arts. And in 2012, he was named to the Order of New Brunswick. And today, he's being recognized by his alma mater. Mr. Chancellor, I present to you Mr. Raymond Fraser. For his lifelong dedication to the arts and his literary accomplishments, we honor him this day with the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa.
By the authority vested in the office of the Chancellor by the Charter of St. Thomas University, I admit you, Raymond Fraser, to the degree Doctor of Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights, privileges, and honors pertaining thereto.
Congratulations, Dr. Fraser, and I now invite Dr. Fraser to come forward and address the convocation this afternoon.
Your Honor, Mr. Premier, Mr. Deputy Premier, Dr. Kinsella, Bishop Harris, Mr. Fitzgerald, Madam President, Mr. Bragg, graduates, ladies and gentlemen. First off, I want to congratulate the graduates on their achievement and thank the university for giving me this honorary degree. And congratulations to my fellow honoree, John Bragg, whom I had the pleasure of hearing speak at the banquet last night. It's quite interesting being a former student of St. Thomas to find myself here doing this at this time. I've been told there are 395 graduates today. When I started at St. Thomas in 1959, when I was over in Chatham, the entire student body didn't run to more than 85 students. There were about 30 of us in my freshman class. But I think it's worth mentioning that out of that small number came an archbishop, a Hollywood actor, and your most humble servant, to say nothing of a number of distinguished educators. At that time, it was known as St. Thomas College and included not only a degree-granting institution, but a high school, which I also attended. As you no doubt noticed, the administration building on campus is named after Monsignor George Martin, who was president of the university from 1975 to 1990. When I was in grades 11 and 12, he was my homeroom and English teacher back when he was just Father Martin at that time. And I was wondering what he'd say now if he were alive and saw me standing here. I remember he gave our grade 11 class a writing assignment one day. And after reading mine, he came to my desk and said, "Sir," Samuel Johnson was his literary hero, and he liked to talk like him. "Sir," he said, "you have a talent and might make something of yourself, but you won't because you're too idle." Another day he told me I was a rebel without a cause. I thought they were both fine compliments. Felt quite flattered. I don't think I was really lazy, though. It's probably just an impression I gave. I've always worked hard at whatever job I was doing, if I had to, or thought it worth doing. And I know I have worked very hard as a writer over the years. Father Martin loved language and literature and always kept the subject interesting. He was a good teacher. This is only my second convocation. The first was at my own graduation, and we had a speaker then, but I really can't remember anything he said. And I'm sure you won't remember anything I said after a few years. I hope not, anyway. So when I was asked to do this, I really wasn't sure what I'd say. I knew I could talk of many things, of sailing ships and sealing wax and cabbages and kings, for example, but I didn't think that would do. My friend Sheldon Curry, I don't know if he's here tonight, he said he was coming. He was my English professor at St. Thomas in my sophomore and junior years. He sent me an email with a quote I might use. It's by the late Bob Hope, a comedian, from an address he gave to a graduating class in the U.S. He said, "I've been asked to offer you some advice as you go out into the real world. My advice is, don't go." Another of my friends advised me to check the internet for speeches by other speakers and do what they did. But I told her I wasn't good at imitating people and that I preferred to do my own thing. Still, I took a look on the net anyway, so as not to appear stubborn. I did read the first couple of paragraphs of a talk, and I actually found something that's quite good. It went like this. George Bernard Shaw once asked the speaker to limit his remarks to 20 minutes, and the speaker said, 20 minutes? How am I supposed to tell them everything I know in 20 minutes? And Shaw said, speak very slowly. When I saw that, I couldn't help thinking of a speech I made myself as a grade 9 student. I've written it out here, and I'll read it to you, an account of it. I was going to try to just tell it without notes, but once I jotted down a few things, I couldn't stop. So, when I was a 14-year-old college student, I entered a public speaking contest. The contest was put on by the grade 11 history teacher, Douglas Shanahan, and was open to students in grade 9 and 10. The prize for the winner was $10, which was quite good back in 1955. I think that would be about $100 today. The subject was why we should study history. I saw the notice on the bulletin board and thought, oh, now there's easy money. I should be able to handle that, no problem. I'd always made good marks in history, and I liked the subject, not the memorizing of dates and lists of kings and such, but the stories about what happened in olden times. I sometimes have trouble comprehending myself when I look back on my life. I was so confident I could get up in front of an audience and dazzle them spontaneously that I didn't do even a minute of preparation. I didn't want to bother writing something down. In any case, we weren't allowed to read our speeches, and I wasn't good at memorization, so I figured I'd just speak off the cuff, wing it, open my mouth, and let the words flow out. The day came, I showed up for the competition, and when my name was called, I went and stood before the grade 11 class. I said, history, why we should study history. And that's as far as I got. The words that were supposed to flow didn't flow. My mouth was open, but nothing came out, not a word. Just a few strangled sounds in my throat, then silence. The reason I went blank was quite simple. As I was about to speak, it suddenly occurred to me that I didn't know why we should study history. I knew I liked reading the stories in the history books, but reading and studying were two different matters. I liked many things. I liked ice cream, but that didn't mean we should study it. I couldn't even have said why I like reading. That's still not something I can adequately explain. So there I stood, rooted to the spot, brain and vocal cords paralyzed. I still see in my mind the faces of the grade 11 students staring at me expectantly, waiting. It was a very long 10 minutes. I had a glimpse of eternity during that time. But at last, Mr. Shanahan looked at his watch and said, I guess your time's about up. You sure you don't have anything to add? Don't go away now, he said. I was finished, but that wasn't the end of it. I had to stay and hear his assessment of how I'd done. For a moment, he didn't seem to know what to say himself. I hadn't given him a lot to work with. But finally, he turned to the class and said, well, this speaker, we have to give him credit for sticking to the subject. He didn't go wandering off in all directions. He got off a few more kind remarks like that, with the class almost killing themselves laughing. He was very close to laughing himself. It was humiliating, one of the more humiliating experiences of my life. And to add to it, the day before I'd given some tips to a nervous friend of mine who was also in the competition. I didn't give him enough tips to win, but enough to help him get through it. I'd been very smug and condescending about it too, and he was the one who won. Anyway, here I am again, back for return engagement. I do now have a better idea about why we should study history. Quite simply, it's instructive. You can learn a lot about human nature, human behavior, human institutions, what to avoid, what to embrace, what to resist. I took 5 history courses at STU: Canadian, American, ancient, medieval, and modern. I read the books required for those courses and many more on my own, then and ever since. I want to get in a quote from one of my favorite writers of the 20th century, the Russian Alexander Solzhenitsyn. But before I do, here's something I turned up in an internet search. In the early to mid-20th century, the phrase politically correct was associated with the dogmatic application of Stalinist doctrine. The usage referred to the Communist Party line, which provided for correct positions on many matters. If you weren't politically correct, the consequences were far from pleasant. Stalin had a lot more enforcement power than the PC forces of today. If you stepped out of line, it usually meant a quick death or a slow one, execution or starvation in a slave labor camp. Newspapers, radio, TV when it came along, and books were all censored. You dare not say or write the incorrect thing or you were in deep trouble. Solzhenitsyn was a case in point. While serving in the Russian army as a captain in World War II and distinguishing himself, he wrote several letters to a friend that had some fairly innocuous critical comments about Stalin. These got into the hands of the Secret Service, and Solzhenitsyn was arrested for what he wrote in a couple of letters. He was sentenced to 8 years in prison without a trial. And after his term, exiled for life in the Russian outback at the edge of the Kazakhstan desert. He was writing all the time, but had to be careful to hide his writings since he was determined to tell the truth about life under Stalin's rule. Most of you probably know his story. It's quite miraculous how he came from the situation he was in to being so instrumental in the downfall of the communist dictatorship. If anyone knew conditions in Russia under Stalin and his successors, he did. Here's the quote I said I would read. Over half a century ago, while I was still a child, I recall hearing a number of old people offer the following explanation for the great disasters that had befallen Russia. Men have forgotten God. That's why all this has happened. Since then, I have spent well nigh 50 years working on the history of our revolution. In the process, I have read hundreds of books, collected hundreds of personal testimonies, and have already contributed 8 volumes of my own toward the effort of clearing away the rubble left by that upheaval. But if I were asked today to formulate as concisely as possible the main cause of the ruinous revolution that swallowed up some 60 million of our people, I could not put it more accurately than to repeat, men have forgotten God. That's why all this has happened. That's from his book, The Yoke and the Calf. You might say Russian democracy today leaves something to be desired, but then that's true of every country's democracy. Human institutions are inescapably flawed like humans themselves. In any institution, sooner or later, ambition, greed, suspicion, fears of various kinds, all sorts of troublesome qualities come into play. There's a book by E.M. Forster called 2 Cheers for Democracy, which is to say the system isn't perfect, but is better than any known alternative. However, problems don't start and end with political oppression. There are plenty more to go around. On a personal level, I've had my share of setbacks over the years. The road I've traveled has been anything but smooth and carefree, as anyone who's read my books would know. That's a subtle commercial. But reading for myself, speaking for myself, from my own experience, everything I've been through has had a purpose of some kind. It was either a lesson I needed to learn, or it steered me in a direction I wouldn't have taken otherwise, a better direction, the one I could see later I was meant to take. I didn't think so at the time, and if I have another painful experience, I won't think so again. But when I look back on the course of my life, I can see it all makes sense, certainly up to this point. I believed this for some time. Then as I was reading The Yoke and the Calf, the aforementioned book by Solzhenitsyn, I ran into this passage. I had learned in my years of imprisonment to sense that guiding hand, to glimpse that bright meaning beyond and above myself and my wishes. I had not always been quick to understand the sudden upsets in my life, and often, out of bodily and spiritual weakness, had seen in them the very opposite of their true meaning and their far-off purpose. Later, the true significance of what had happened would inevitably become clear to me, and I would become numb from surprise. So if things get rough, don't despair. What seems the low point can be the turning point, a step on the way to something better. And I don't mean in a material way necessarily, although that could come into it too. And you may not agree with me on the things I've just said and read, or on anything else, but if you don't worry. I won't try to have you arrested. I'm going to close by quoting something from Giovanni di Pietro di Bernardone, better known as St. Francis of Assisi. Most things you read, if you read them too often, they wear out and lose their effect, but not these words of his. They contain as good advice as you'll ever get anywhere. In fact, it wouldn't hurt if we all read them first thing each morning and kept them in mind throughout the day. I can't imagine there being anything like the strife there usually is in the world if everybody did that. But Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. Grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. There are a few more lines, but you can look those up. And I think I've used up as much time as I can get away with. I'd like again to congratulate the graduates on this milestone in their lives. And to all of you, thanks for listening and for not throwing anything.
Thank you, Dr. Fraser. We now proceed to the central part of our program, the conferral of degrees upon our students. After the degrees have been conferred, our dean, Dr. Michael Boudreau, will read the names of the graduates for presentation to the chancellor. Ms. Karen Preston, our registrar, will assist the president with the presentation of diplomas. We begin with the Bachelor of Applied Arts and the Certificate in Gerontology. Our Bachelor of Applied Arts degrees are offered in collaboration with the New Brunswick Community College. Would the candidates for the degree, Bachelor of Applied Arts, and the Certificate in Gerontology please stand? Most Reverend Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting these candidates for the degree Bachelor of Applied Arts and the Certificate in Gerontology. I testify that they have completed the requirements for the degree and have been found worthy to have it conferred upon them today.
By the authority vested in the office of the Chancellor by the Charter of St. Thomas University, I admit said candidates to the degree Bachelor of Applied Arts and the Certificate in Gerontology with all the rights, privileges, and honors pertaining thereto.
Beverly Jean Hornibrook. Graduating with distinction and the winner of the prize for communications in 4th year, Jennifer Claire McNeil Haddad. Robin Lee O'Reilly. Kate Elizabeth Walsh. Kaylee Ann Whitaker.
Would the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Social Work please stand? Most Reverend Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting these candidates for the degree Bachelor of Social Work. I testify that they have completed the requirements for the degree and have been found worthy to have it conferred upon them today.
By the authority vested in the office of the Chancellor by the Charter of St. Thomas University, I admit said candidates to the degree Bachelor of Social Work with all the rights, privileges, and honors pertaining thereto.
Star Mary Arping. Zoe Amelia Lindsay Bourgeois. Megan Sarah Callahan. Monica Alexandra Collier. Christy Aaron Dingy. Lisa Dawn Edwards. Valeria Ariane Fullman. Emily Laura Gidry. Scholastic Skitu Isaiah. Claudette LeBlanc. Lauren Alexandria McNaughton. Shauna Lee Manning. Julia Kathleen Phillips. Rebecca Mary Teresa Simon. Lieutenant Navy Edward Michael Stanfield. Marissa Gabrielle Dorothea Walcott.
Would the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts and Honor Certificates in Arts please stand? Most Reverend Chancellor, I am pleased to present to you these candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts and for Honor Certificates in Arts. I testify that they have completed the requirements for these degrees and diplomas and have been found worthy of having them conferred upon them today.
By the authority vested in the office of the Chancellor by the Charter of St. Thomas University, I admit said candidates to the degree Bachelor of Arts and Honors and Certificates in Arts with all the rights, privileges, and honors pertaining thereto.
Jeremy Warren Altman. Kelty Elaine Long Apperson. Kelsey Lee Jean Amour. Matthew Colby Armstrong. Emily M.L. Arsenault. Renelle Arsenault. Shannon Chelsea Obu. Courtney Danica Babineau. Eve Sarah Baird. Megan Mackenzie Baker. Oscar Baker III. Amy Marie Bard. Catherine Ann Barnaby. Shannon Elaney Barrist. Graduating with distinction, Rachel Tanya Victoria Barrett. Graduating with distinction, Megan Michelle Beaulieu. Jenna Lynn Betts. Eliza Megan Bond. Graduating with distinction, Rebecca Mary Bonner. Robert Edwin Booth. Elizabeth Ann Boudreau. Nicole Bouvier. Catherine Olivia Boyd. Marissa Catherine Brown. President Russell, Dawn Fitzgerald will be helping with the presentation of this degree. Graduating with distinction, Nicholas Christopher Ryan Brown. Graduating with distinction and recipient of the St. Thomas University Prize for Psychology in 4th year, Olivia Emily Brown. Kathleen Elizabeth Irene Bruce. Caitlin. Dallas Ashley Bryan. Dominique Michelle Caravan. Katrina Emily Card. Jacob Matthew Linwood Carson. Emily Giselle Carvel. Winner of the St. Thomas University Singers Prize for contribution to choral music, Ursula Jane Collifor. Natasha Emma Chamberlain. Graduating with distinction and winner of the prize for journalism in 4th year, Emma Louise Chappell. Graduating with distinction, Marlee Marie Charlton. Sorry. Danielle Sarah Chasson. Kathleen Madeleine Chasson. Kayla Marie Clark. Matthew Graham Cobham. Graduating with distinction, Michaela Ashley Cockburn. Shayna Elizabeth Kuhn. Caitlin Isabella Conrad. Devin Joseph Coyle. Emily Nicole Cronkite. Megan Ashley Cross. Shelby Leanne Crossman. Erica Roseanne Claudine Culbert. Graduating with distinction and winner of the David Adams Richards Prize for Nonfiction, Jonathan Robert Cullen. Taylor Dawn Elizabeth Curtis. Sierra Michelle Dambrose. Jordan Walter Richard Dakin. Graduating with distinction, Cassandra Rose Davidson. Jenna Joelle Densmore. Abby Lynn Dara. Quentin Grant DeRoche. Graduating with distinction, Cheryl Ann Iona Durant. Vanessa Durand. Morgan Donovan. Gabrielle Doucette. Graduating with distinction, Teresa Ellen Doucette. Renee Camille Doucette. Haley Michelle Drake McBride. Anne Marie Rose Drost. Brooke Louise Drover. President Russell, Larry Batt will be assisting you with the presentation of this degree. Taylor Renee Dubé. Kimberly Ann Dunbar. Kyle Robert Dunnett. Oliver Martin Dussault. J.C. Lynn Ellingwood. Brittany Leanne Everett. Graduating with distinction, Lisa Joan Fairweather. Yi Fan. Graduating with distinction, Caitlin Elizabeth Farrell. Jane Elizabeth Ferguson. Rebecca Jane Ferris. Keisha Lynn Nellie Foss. Graduating with distinction, Kristen Alexandra Frame. Jessica Lee Frazier. Katiana Fouget. Graduating with distinction, Abigail Bridget Gallant. David Mark Gallant. Dylan Brian Gallant. Graduating with distinction, Danielle Lucas Ganon. Stephanie Caitlin Gates. Graduating with distinction, Danielle Goshen Tamani. Graduating with distinction, Jordan Danny Gill. Joey Robert Goodbow. Alyssa Fina Goldsmith. Shannon Kelly Morgan Goodine. Ellen Marie Gotel. Thomas Benjamin Burns Graham. Laura Janelle Grant. Peyton Jade Gravel. Catherine Hannah Gray. Emily Ann Gray. Kendra Nicoletta Greeley. Matthew William Grimshaw. Sarah Ann Gronenberg. Megan E. Gulliver. Frida Marie Guerrero Arrigue. Graduating with distinction, Lauren Jessie Haas. Erin Valerie Hache. Carly Marie Hallahan. Katie Lynn Hamill. Kara Danielle Hannon. Neil Thomas Hansen. Daisha Raylene Harrison. Adam Edward Hibbert. Laura Mary Heffernan. Graduating with distinction, Natasha Marie Hickey. Delana Elizabeth Hockey. Brianne Veronica Hogan. Tyson Frederick Darren Hovey. Taylor Danielle Campbell Hoyt. Alana Ellen Hutchinson. Douglas Allen Jameson. Ryan James Edward Jenkins. Bradley Emery Jerome Johnston. Graduating with distinction, Kathleen Lisa Johnston. Jessica Marie Lynn Jones. Graduating with distinction, Sarah Maria Cam. Sierra Marie Carey. Graduating with distinction, Erin Marie Kelly. Michelle Gail Kimball. Lindsay Maria Kingston. CBC. Graduating with distinction, Colleen Michelle Kitts-Gogan. Graduating with distinction, Stefan Andrew Coppert. Jasmine Ella Cranat. Emma Elizabeth Lackey. Juan Manuel Lara. Graduating with distinction, Danielle Michelle LeBlanc. Graduating with distinction, Caitlin Lorraine Dorothy LeBlanc. Graduating with distinction, Elizabeth Francine Leclerc. Alexandra Leduc. Jeremy Legier. Marie-Pierre Levesque. Erica Chantel Limpkild. Kimberly Kayla Littlefield. Autumn Dawn Locke. Graduating with distinction and winner of the prize for psychology in 4th year, Alyssa Patricia Lozelle. Cody Dylan Roger Lyons. Jessica Darby McDonald. Laura Rose McDonald. Graduating with distinction and recipient of the Adu Lodi Prize for highest standing in criminology and criminal justice, Megan Elizabeth McEachran. Pamela Ashley McKinnon. Graduating with distinction, Megan Ashley McLeod. Michelle Caitlin McLong. Kayla Elizabeth McQuarrie. Graduating with distinction, Abby Christina McRae. Jillian Amber Main. Madison Valerie Makepeace. Courtney Elizabeth Martin. Graduating with distinction, Maria Lucia Martinez. Alexandra Matt. Sebastian Alphonse Haddon Maynard. Elizabeth Susan MacArthur. Graduating with distinction, Sean Charles McKillum. Crystal Rose McIntyre. Graduating with distinction, Jocelyn Emily McKnight. Graduating with distinction, Carrie Lynn McLaughlin. Graduating with distinction, Carly Dawn McClellan. Erin May McClellan. Robert William Ashton McMichael. Emily Ann McPhee. Thomas Roger Miller. Madonna Rose Millier. Jeremy Nathan Moore. Graduating with distinction, Jordan Patrick Gerard Moore. Andrea Sarah Marie Moran. Veronique Moran. Graduating with distinction, Robin Emily Rose Murphy. Graduating with distinction, Kathleen Audrey Nash. Taylor Gail Newman. Loand Nolan. Graduating with distinction, Laura Kathleen O'Brien. Graduating with distinction, Lori Kathleen O'Keefe. Graduating with distinction, Natalie Ortiz. Caitlin Marie Olton. C.U. Pan. Jeffrey Allen Parkinson. Catherine Ann Parks. Amanda Mary Parley. Riley Marie Patlas. Graduating with distinction and recipient of the prize for journalism in 4th year, Sarah Perez Padron. Anthony David Peter Paul. Graduating with distinction, Catherine Anne-Marie Petty. Graduating with distinction, Samantha Jean Phillips. Graduating with distinction, Laurence Pigeot. Graduating with distinction, Sarah Megan Padanovich. Javier Ponce. Graduating with distinction, Jordan Beth Pond. Holly Morgan Pugh. Julia Ann Ramsey. Graduating with distinction, Lynn Ann Pearl Reeker. Kelsey Elizabeth Reed. Yi Lin Ren. Alexandria Marie Diane Rendell. Alicia Whitney Ritzy. Stephanie Lynn Roach. Jake Thomas Robinson. Samantha Ashley Robinson. Graduating with distinction, Crystal Ann Darlene Roussel. Bailey Virginia Rushton. Courtney Ellen Russell. Alexandria Marie Ryan. Danielle Douglas Scriver. Graduating with distinction, Dylan Seeley. Dustin Allen Gordon Shanks. Aaron Earl Smith. Emily Nicole Smith. Emma Marie Smith. Shaylin Smith. Jenna Maxine Snellgrove. Graduating with distinction, Samantha Ann Steves. Jenna Marie Stewart. Kristen Candace Stewart. Christina Leanne Taylor. Corey Mackenzie Thomas. Jillian Ruth Trail. Thomas Ovila Tremblay. President Russell, this presentation you will be assisted by Professor Mark Tunney. This is for the St. Thomas University Journalism Award for the greatest contribution to journalism, Joseph Jackson Tunney. Sarah Morgan Turcott. Lindsay Bryce Underhill. Andrew Patrick Connell Vale. Graduating with distinction, Alexandra Kelly Anderson Van Ryn. Graduating with distinction and the prize for communications in 4th year, Carmen Adela Vila. Graduating with distinction, Megan Lindsay Verge. James Reed Vickers. Kristen Marie Walchuk. Francesca Louise Wallace. Drew Alexander Wanamaker. Shanda Marie White. Jessica Yvonne Williams. Sky Williamson. Tanner Elizabeth Wilson. Courtney Dawn Windsor. Graduating with distinction, Carter Lee Wood. Anne Gabrielle Ward. Wenqing Xu. Gao Yang. Tara Helen Yarmy. Manira Binte Mohabbat Youssef. Graduating with honors in anthropology, Callan Brian Stevenson. Graduating with honors in criminology, Ashley Lee Smith. Graduating with honors in criminology with distinction, Michelle Jane Spavold. Graduating with honors in criminology with distinction, Laura Angela Steeves. Graduating with honors in economics with distinction and recipient of the prize for economics in 4th year, Rolando Jose Hernandez Gomez. Graduating with honors in English literature, English language and literature with distinction, Kara Lee Jane Buckingham. Graduating with honors in English language and literature with distinction and recipient of the Bishop Hill Prize for English in 4th year, Sarah Beckwith Brine. Graduating with honors in English language and literature with distinction, Monica Anna Grass. Graduating with honors in English language and literature with distinction, Dominique Dennis Hache. Graduating with honors in English language and literature with distinction, Cherise Melody LeBron. Graduating with honors in English language and literature with distinction, Peter J. McCoon. Graduating with honors in English language and literature with distinction, Rebecca Marie Faye Messer. Graduating with honors in great books, Kyle Fraser Stairs. Graduating with honors in great books, Hannah Walsh. Graduating with honors in history with distinction, Adrian Janelle Arsenault. Graduating with honors in history with distinction and recipient of the IODE Prize for Highest Standing in Canadian History, Emma Frances Davis. Graduating with honors in history with distinction, Adam John Clifford Mahoney. Graduating with honors in history, Michael Donald McNeil. Graduating with honors in history with distinction, Paul Nozica. Graduating with honors in history with distinction, Denise Louise Steeves. Graduating with honors in interdisciplinary studies with distinction, Elizabeth Frances Bamford. President Russell, you will be assisted with the presentation of this degree by Mr. Don Fitzgerald. Graduating with honors in interdisciplinary studies with distinction, Linda Marie Matthews. Graduating with honors in international relations with distinction and recipient of the Winfield Poole Prize for Best Honors Thesis in Political Science, Melissa Lynn Fitzherbert. Graduating with honors in Native Studies, Sarah Wadu Karam. Graduating with honors in Native Studies, Erica Gideon Marchand. Graduating with honors in Native Studies with distinction, Shannon Scott. Graduating with honors in political science with distinction of the George H. Harrington Prize for Political Science in 4th year and the Winterfield Poole Prize for Best Honors Thesis in Political Science, Alana Dara McDonald. Graduating with honors in psychology with distinction and recipient of the Ray and Lorraine Irving Prize for Best Thesis in Psychology, Karen Elizabeth Louise Buckle. Graduating with honors in psychology with distinction, Dr. Helen Lyons Memorial Prize for Psychology Honors in 4th year, Brittany Joanne Harris. Graduating with honors in psychology with distinction and recipient of the Dr. Helen Lyons Memorial Prize for Psychology Honors in 4th year, Casey Andrea Lonis. Graduating with honors in psychology with distinction, Natasha Marie Veronica Mahoney. Graduating with honors in psychology with distinction and recipient of the Canadian Psychological Association Certificate of Excellence in Honors in Psychology, Laura Ivy Pritchard. Graduating with honors in psychology with distinction and recipient of the Canadian Psychological Association Certificate of Excellence for Honors in Psychology, Michelle Louise Richard. Graduating with honors in psychology with distinction and recipient of the Canadian Psychological Association Certificate of Excellence for Honors in Psychology, Maria Clara Santa Cruz. Graduating with honors in sociology with distinction, Paige Marie McCafferty. Graduating with honors in sociology with distinction, Vanessa Joy Noel. Graduating with honors in sociology with distinction and recipient of the 4th year prize in sociology, Haley Layla Rowe. Graduating with honors in sociology with distinction, Jean Saint-Amand. Graduating with honors in Science and Technology Studies, Peter Babin. Graduating with honors in Science and Technology Studies with distinction and recipient of the Science and Technology Studies Prize, Krista Lee O'Reilly. Graduating with honors in history and with honors in philosophy with distinction and recipient of the Chuddy McCarthy Memorial Prize in History for 4th year, Abigail Jocelyn Harrington. Graduating with honors in English Language and Literature with honors in history with distinction, Justin Terrence Leclerc. Graduating with honors in philosophy and with honors in Spanish with distinction and recipient of the Mark Adams Prize for Philosophy in 4th year, Alexander James Logie. Recipient of Certificate of the Honors Standing in Criminology, Jennifer Megan Hall. Recipient of the Certificate of Honors Standing in Interdisciplinary Studies, Rubana Singh.
Please join me now in a round of applause to congratulate our graduating students. It's now my pleasure to introduce the valedictorian for today's convocation. The valedictorian is chosen by the graduating class in an election held each spring. I'm pleased to introduce this year's valedictorian, Ms. Clara Santa Cruz.
Lieutenant Governor Roy Vinu, Premier Gallant, Chancellor Robert Harris, President Russell, our professors, our parents and supporters, and the class of 2016. On a November night in 2012, I was sitting in my tiny twin bed in Harrington Hall. I looked out the window and I saw something strange. I ran down the 3 flights of stairs, and many of my friends were already outside dancing. Even to this day, they talk about that night and remind me how I started crying. Tears were streaming because it was the first snowfall of the year, because I had never seen snow before, and because I couldn't believe how beautiful it was. That magical night symbolized for me, coming not just from a different country, but from a different continent, how warmly I was welcomed here at St. Thomas, which has been my home for the last 4 years. Graduates, you're sitting next to new and old friends, classmates, teammates, strangers, but we all have this in common. We completed our education at St. Thomas University, and today marks the end of one small step in our personal growth. Do you remember your first year courses? I remember being baffled, hearing about history and science with a completely different viewpoint than what I was taught in high school. And I believe this continued after each course at the end of the semester. It felt like the software in our brains was being constantly updated. Our thoughts on different topics have been expanded here, slowly helping us become people who critically think rather than blindly accept whatever is presented to us. We can use our thinking skills to assess who would make a really bad candidate in a presidential election, not that there is one currently. We can also use them to ponder an equally important matter. Where's the best restaurant within walking distance from campus? These past 4, 5, 6 or more years, we experience highs and lows of all sorts. Whether or not we lived in residence, we saw the demise of the George Martin Hall cafeteria as an open area to hang out with on and off campus people, but saw it transformed into the Harry Potter sounding The Great Hall. We saw the rise in responsibilities in our lives as evidenced by the lack of space in our calendars. And we saw one another become, hopefully, wiser and kinder people, while our simple immaturities faded away, or at least some of them anyway. Our reasons for deciding to engage in this education may all be different, but we are lucky to be grown in an educational environment that tries to harmonize life skills and knowledge. The idea of graduating is terrifying to many of us, I'm sure. Have you ever had someone question why you were studying what you were? I have. And that's what I'm afraid of those people who Bachelor of Arts is not necessary because they think that in order to be successful in this world, it is not important to know how to learn about the world or how to connect with people. But I am confident that the world is always going to need people who can think their way through problems, who have a genuine interest in doing what is right, who are strong team players, who can create a beautiful piece of art. And we are going to be those people. We chose to major in fields that we love, and there is no greater motivator than that freedom to do what is right for you. We dedicated our time here to sharing our ideas enthusiastically with people who wanted to hear them and discuss them. That is why we should be proud that we are a well-grounded graduating class that knows how to think and how to learn. As two grads, we will have the answer for everything, but we will have a question for everything. And that's what makes us different. Empowered by the education that we received here,